Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Well, coming up on the show today, I'm doing top 10 hard rock and heavy metal from 1986. And I've got my good friend Dan from Off the Charts joining me. How you going, Dan?
I think I'm very good. And you?
Yeah, good, good. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So thanks for coming on the show today. So
My
I think
pleasure.
thanks. Yeah,
My
no, we
pleasure.
caught up.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. We caught up a couple of weeks ago and discussed perhaps doing this. And that was, I think, before I'd even done my 1985 top 10. So I did that, the 1985 top 10. I did that one solo. But then I suggested to Dan, how about you come on and do the 1986? And we'll each go through our top 10. Maybe there'll be a match, maybe not a match on my number 10 being his number 10, but maybe my number 10's your number 5 is, so forth. And there could be some surprises. We'll just have to see. Of course, 1986 was a massive year for hard rock and metal, as I'm sure you're going to say too, Dan. So much
Yeah.
to choose from. How did it go for you?
I'm just gonna be surprised if we have a match same number, like your number 4 is the same as my number 4. I'll be
Yeah.
surprised with that. But I'm expecting some bands or some albums and mostly to show up in both our top 10s. I'll be very surprised if there's not. So yeah, it was for me, it was a great year for music. And I think my top, well, anyway, I was doing my looking at my list, and I think I was like between 20 and 30 albums. I was like, okay, I got to cut this down here. So I got my top 10. This is actually pretty tough to do, but I got it done just for you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dan. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, and because there's so many great releases from 1986, for me, I found it really difficult to do honorable mentions because I felt like I could be making a really massive list. But we might have some honorable mentions at the end from Dan, and I'll probably just keep that pretty brief. But all right, Dan. Well, look, I was on your show, of course, about a week ago, and that was fantastic. We did our favorite bands from A to Z. We got through to M, and we're going to carry that on sometime again soon. And when I was on your show, I went first. So you're on my show today. So guest goes first. What's
Sounds good.
10?
All right. So my top 10, like I said, it's albums that I really listen to. I'll say my 10th one will be probably the least popular band in there, but I love the album like a lot. So I'm gonna go with Black and Blue, Nasty Nasty. I don't know. These guys weren't very popular here in Canada. I'm not sure about New Zealand. It was like close, but no cigar. Like I knew the name, didn't know any songs from them. Then my friend told me about them. I was like Nasty Nasty. Like when I hear the song, I do the spit take, if you know what I'm talking about there.
Yep.
I Want It All, I Want It Now. Does She or Doesn't She? Like these are frigging great songs. I love this album. So I'm putting Black and Blue, Nasty Nasty as my 10th favorite from 1986.
Nice. Great. Nice choice, Dan. All right. Well, for my number 10, and this might be one that comes up maybe later on your list, I don't know, but it only made number 10 for me, and that's Iron Maiden and Somewhere in Time. So, solid album for me, but the standout tracks actually are the Adrian Smith ones. I really like Stranger in a Strange Land and, of course, Wasted Years. Great song. So they're my two sort of big standout tracks. Yeah,
I love to play Stranger in a Strange Land on the bass. I'm just
right, great, yeah.
It's a great, and that video, I love that song. It's a great album.
Yeah,
great album. We'll see if it's in my top 10. I'm not going to say anything now. Let's see if it'll be there.
All right. Okay. Do you want to do your number 9?
All right, number 9. I fell in love with this band, album number 2, but then I went backwards and of course got it. Tesla, Mechanical Resonance or Resonance. I don't know. I'm French, so easy. I saw these guys live opening up for Def Leppard, and I preferred these guys to Def Leppard. These guys rock. Like this album's so good, like from A to Z. Coming at You Live, easy. what's that one that Modern Day Cowboy. That's one of my great songs from these guys here. This whole album is just rocking from A to Z. So I'm putting Mechanical Resonance or Resonance, or I don't know how you guys pronounce it there, as my number 9 here. Great album here. Not my favorite from them, but for 1986, yes. So there you go.
Great choice. And yes, might be coming up later for me as well. All right. So my number 9 is Ratt, Dancing Undercover. So yeah, what's interesting about this album though is that when I did my 1985, Invasion of Your Privacy was my number 1. So this is a bit of a drop for them. So they're dropping down to number 9 in 1986. But it's still a really solid album, especially the first 2 tracks, Dance, and I really like One Good Lover. It's a really good song. I think the rest of the songs are good, but not great. And they're catchy, and I know them really well. But I have to be honest, I was just a little disappointed. Again, not because it's not a bad album, but for me, it went from like Invasion of Your Privacy. I couldn't stop playing. I thought it was like
I know.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that one. Do you like Slip of the Lip? It doesn't do anything for me, that one.
No.
It's too mid-tempo. It's okay.
Yeah, I find some of their choruses are quite they repeat a lot, you know. It's just slip of the lip, you know, and it's like, you know, drive me crazy. It's like drive me crazy.
I do like that one though. I do like that one.
I'm not disliking it. I'm just saying, you know, that's just something I notice about them. But yeah.
My favorite one off that album is the last one, Enough is Enough. Love that song.
Yeah.
It starts off with that weird guitar. But anyway, we may be talking about it later.
Okay.
All right. Good choice, though. I love that album. I love Ratt. Okay, we're at number 8 now, right?
Yeah.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking it's not going to be any of your top 10, but you'll be like, oh, yeah, I get it now. Kim Mitchell, Shaken Like a Human Being. It's probably his more complete album. I mean, this is the one that's got Patio Lanterns. That's the Hold, Easy to Tame. A little redundant, but this album that's what got me into liking this guy a lot more. Like I loved Go for Soda on the album before. There's some great tracks on this, but this was a very, very solid, technically his 3rd album, if you count the first EP, but 2nd long play album. So I'm putting Kim Mitchell, Shaken Like a Human Being, as my number 8.
Nice. Yeah, probably not a surprise actually when I think about our A to Z favorite artists, and you had Kim Mitchell down for M. So
yeah.
Nice.
That's why I said you're gonna be. Oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
I like the guy a lot. Like
yeah. All right, my number 8 is Cinderella and Night Songs. So a much heavier album than what people have said this a few times. Like the cover, you might look at the cover and think it's going to sort of be more glam rock, but it's actually pretty heavy, sort of AC/DC kind of, mixed in with a sort of bit of 80s metal, hair metal. Night Songs, Shake Me, they're the 2 lead-off tracks, and I think they're great. Great songs to start off the album. The ballad Nobody's Fool is really good. And then there's 2 tracks on side 2 where I really like, Somebody Save Me and Push.
Oh yeah, I love that one. Love that one.
Yeah.
I saw them live and they opened with Somebody Save Me. I was like, oh my God, that's so good.
It's a good song. So it's like I say, heavier album than what you might think. And also, if you'd heard Long Cold Winter and you hadn't heard that would be probably a little bit of a surprise, because Long Cold Winter, they got a lot more bluesy, and it's still a good album. But for me, probably my favorite is their debut.
Yeah. I don't know how to pick between the 1st and the 4th one for that band there, but
4th is good too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's underappreciated there, but good choice. I like that one. Okay, so we're at number 7.
Yep.
Okay, this one, I'll just say it right now. Alice Cooper, Constrictor. It wasn't until Trash that I started buying his album, but the first video I saw, Teenage Frankenstein. I don't know if you remember that video with the Frankenstein robot there walking. I was like, oh my god, that is so cool that I bought this. I'm like, there's maybe one or two song on side one, but side two is so good on this. Plus, it's got the famous "He's Back," the man behind the mask
Mm.
from 13th part 6. Not that least heaviest song on the album, I'll say that.
Mm.
It's still a very good soundtrack song. So I'm putting Constrictor, Alice Cooper. Again, not my favorite from Alice Cooper. Like that era is good. I don't find great, but for 1986 there, like with compared to the rest, I'm putting this as my number 7.
Yeah, 7.
There you go. Alice
Nice.
Cooper, Constrictor.
Yeah, great. Again, another artist that you chose on your favorite artist A to Z. So, yeah, probably not a surprise, eh? Yeah, cool. All right. My number 7, another quite well-known album, another successful album. This went multi-platinum, I think. This is Van Halen and 5150. So the first album they did with Sammy Hagar, and just a consistent album. So many great songs on this one. I really don't like the fact how there's no song titles on the back. So how you look to the back cover. I really like. You can't do that. But I mean, I know a lot of the songs. Dreams, I know it was quite a commercial song, but I really like that song. Good Enough, I think, is a great way to kick off the album.
I love Good Enough. I love Good Enough.
But to be honest, just a really solid album. I was a bit late to get into Van Halen to some degree. And I went around to a friend's place, and we used to play cards, and he'd put this album on, and it just grew on me over time, because I would only listen to it at his house. And then I was like, why have I not got this album? This is so good. So, Best of Both Worlds as well. That opens up side 2. Yeah, just so many great songs. I think for me, it's the best album that Van Halen did with Sammy Hagar. So I know it's quite different to David Lee Roth. It's a different vibe with Sammy Hagar, but you can't deny it's still Eddie there, and the rest of the band. So I love both David Lee Roth and
Same
Sammy
here.
Hagar.
Yeah. Now I love both. Yeah, equally.
Yeah. But you can't compare them. They're quite different. Certainly different vocal styles. So that's my number. We're up to 7, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 7. Yeah, cool.
Well, maybe more to come on that one later.
Okay, right.
But you made me realize something. You just said there's no song titles in the back. Did you also know there was no videos for that album?
That's crazy, eh?
And it was their first number 1 seller ever.
Wow.
So, but maybe more to come on that one later.
Yeah.
Well, since we did our A to M episode, this might not come as a surprise, but and this album is not considered very good for that band, but I'm putting Turbo. This is the 30th anniversary. Yeah, Turbo 30. It's not the same copy as you had the other day there, but a good song's a good song. Turbo, like this whole album is catchy as hell. Sure, it's not heavy like you're used to, like Screaming for Vengeance and Free Will Burning, but you know what? A good album's a good album, and I love this album for what it is. A glam rock album.
I'll just stop you there. That's my number 6 as well. Here we go. So we got a match.
You got the original, and I got
the original. Yeah.
We actually got a match on the same. All right. Well, I'm having a shot.
Have a drink on that one. Yeah.
I was not expecting that. There we go.
Well, and you're saying exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. It's not appreciated as much from other people, but I still think it's a good album. Yeah.
A good album is a good album.
Yeah.
But and Out in the Cold, that's such a great. Did you see that the live tour there on the VHS or whatever there? And they start off with that, and the way they started off, I thought was so good and brilliant.
Yeah,
but, I like this album. So Judas Priest, Turbo. I make no apologies for liking it.
Yeah,
to me it's
fantastic. And Turbo Lover, that was a great song too.
Oh my god, yeah. For like the longest time, I didn't know there was a part 2 to that video, which was Locked In, I think.
Oh, okay.
You know, at the end, Rob Halford gets.
Then it carries on, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a part 2 to that video, which is Locked In.
Yeah,
I think it's Locked In anyway.
Right.
So, all right.
Anyway,
So now we're at one, two, three. Now we're at our top five.
yeah, so we go straight on to number 5 now. See if we have
Okay.
another match.
I'd be very surprised if this is on your top 10 list.
Okay.
Here in
Oh,
eight.
oh,
You remember this?
compilation. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, compilation, yes and no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
It's well, it's your USA for Africa or Tears
Yeah.
Are Not Enough for the Lights and or Band-Aid.
Yeah.
This is a guitar shredder's dream come true with the song Stars, but every band pretty much gave also or donated a song which was not released at the time. Mostly Kiss, sorry, not Kiss. Yeah, well, Kiss is on here. I'm just reading that there. Live songs that were not available before, like Rush, Scorpions, Y&T, Kiss, Dio, Accept. So I've loved the song Stars, and then the album's actually a good, I guess you could call it a compilation to a point, but it's unreleased compilation. So I still remember the video, watching that and going like, wow, this is so cool. Finally, our band is making a video like USA for Africa or Northern Lights. So putting Here in Aid. There you go. Number 5.
No, great pick. To be honest, I probably didn't even think about it, but because I love that song Stars. It's like you say, you know, with the guitars all trading off with the solos, and then you hear the different vocals, you know, the vocals. And it's just, you know, it's a great song. I think Ronnie James Dio and Vivian Campbell wrote it, and yeah, it's just a fantastic song. So and it's like, you know, it's like 7-8 minutes long, but I don't, you know,
7 minutes with like 4 minutes of guitars.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, my number 5 is Ozzy Osbourne and The Ultimate Sin. Yeah, so it's actually the first Ozzy Osbourne album I ever heard. And at first, actually, when I heard his, you know, I hadn't even heard Black Sabbath, right? So this is my first sort of hearing him, hearing Ozzy Osbourne sing. And at first, I was like, I don't know about this guy's vocals, you know. But you get used to it, and then you just, I just
got a recognizable voice.
Yeah.
Very.
Yep. And then with the, you know, he's always had awesome guitarists, and then the riffs on this album are killer. It's not my favorite Ozzy album, but I think it's a solid album with lots of good songs on it. The Ultimate Sin's like one of my favorite ones. That's the title track. But lots of good tracks. Of course, Jakey Lee's one of my favorite guitarists. So had to go with that one, number 5.
Shot in the Dark and Lightning Strikes. That's right. I love those two songs.
Great songs too. Yeah.
All right, number 4. Wonder if you have, I know you have this, I just don't know if you have this version. So this is probably my mom refused to buy me Kiss. She said, you have enough Kiss, you need something else for your birthday. So she got me, am I going to talk about it? No. Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, and this, but not this version.
Oh.
Slippery When Wet. I had this was my introduction of stuff beyond Kiss, and this album is Let It Rock, which is also Pink Flamingos. Was it you that was talking about that on your channel?
Yeah.
Because of you, I was like, I'm not crazy. I saw this on my but You Give Love a Bad Name is probably my favorite Bon Jovi song of all time. And the first thing I was like, did you guys see that song yesterday on the Power Hour? Like whole album, I remember I listened so much as a kid there. So I'm putting Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet as my 4th favorite of 1986.
Right.
There you go.
And we might see that one later again. All right. Number 4 for me is, this could be, well, it probably is one of my favorite bands, Wasp. And this is their 3rd album, Inside the Electric Circus. So there's a few tracks on here that are just average, but it's what I like about this album is it's got some real killer songs too. Like I Don't Need No Doctor, which is actually a cover of Ashford and Simpson. And then I think Humble Pie is actually more of a cover of the Humble Pie song.
I think so. Yeah. I heard Humble Pie.
the Humble Pie version is quite heavy. So the cover of that. But I also really like 95 Nasty. It's got like a really nice sort of riff going through that. And I love the way Blackie sings on that song. But yeah, Restless Gypsy, Shoot from the Hip, side one especially is really, really great. So
From the Hip, I like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 4.
I only have them all on digital though, Wasp.
Oh,
Like they're, I find they're hit and miss from me. That one is like, to me, sorry, no offense, there is probably one of their weaker ones. I find it just it's on a little bit on autopilot.
Yeah, I don't even think Blackie likes it that much himself. Yeah.
But yeah, Inside Electric Circus, 95 Nasty, Shoot from the Hip. That's the one also with the Uriah Heep cover there.
Yeah, Easy Living. Yeah.
Easy Live. That's a great version that they did there. And there's one near the end there. I forget what the Rock Rolls Forever On. That's that's on. Yeah, I like that. So
yeah.
Okay. We're down to our top 3.
All right.
So this will be a little bit of a rehash for me because here we go. Rat, Dancing on the Cover. I'm not gonna go and talk about this too much, but Enough is Enough, I thought was like one of the most original songs. And Dance, love. And people who don't like Rat love Body Talk. They're like, I love Body Talk's riff. Everybody's like, it's almost borderline speed metal. So I'm not gonna talk about it too much here, but yeah, Rat, not as good as Invasion, because that is my favorite Rat album. But again, number 3 in 1986 for me. So there you go. Dancing on the Cover, number 3.
Yeah. And you're right about Body Talk. Yeah, heard lots of people talk about how, they really like that song. And I think that song features in an Eddie Murphy movie too. It comes up in the soundtrack and it even plays during the movie.
Coming to America?
I don't know if it's that one actually. Could be, but I've seen the movie, but like back in the 80s. It's a while ago.
I'll email you as soon as this is over.
Yeah. I'm sure it even plays in the movie itself.
The Golden Child. The Golden Child.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's it. All right. I don't need to email you now.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, top 3. So these are all just amazing albums for me. Number 3, I think we've seen this one before, haven't we? But
yeah.
Mechanical Resonance. And I'd probably say, like you did, Dan, not my favorite one, but it's still really, really good. Probably the next one's my favorite, but yeah, just a solid album. We've talked about Modern Day Cowboy. What a great song that is. That's a pretty heavy song to be released as a single. Had a music video. It's really, fantastic riff on that. But they're just like, I like the fact that these guys, they came out in the 80s. Hair metal was pretty popular. But they were just like the kind of guys that just pretty much just wore jeans and a t-shirt, and they weren't so much into the image.
They were very mix of good acoustic and electric guitars. I found it was a mix of both. I found, which I'm not going to say the word Western, but they had a little feel of a Western-ish sometimes. But it was all rock. I like.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, I'll put, again, you've talked about this, but Van Halen 5150. Good Enough. Yeah, you're right. There is no song titles. It didn't dawn on me there.
No.
But yeah, this was it. And again, no videos, no song titles, word of mouth, and because there was no internet back then.
It's like, maybe it's a little bit arrogant. Hey, it's sort of like, hey, we're Van Halen. You don't need to know what songs are on here. It's like, we're Van Halen. You want to buy the album, you buy the album.
But the radio was playing It's Got What It Takes. Like, why can't this be love? Why can't that song great. I don't find there's a dud on this album at all here. I love this one here. Not my favorite Sammy one though.
Oh yeah.
I do prefer For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. That is actually my favorite Van Halen album of all time, which is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. But this probably is a very, very close second. Great album.
No, I might even have to agree with you. It's those 2 albums are definitely both awesome. Yeah.
That's what actually got For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was what got me to buy Van Halen albums. I was at the store. I'm like, I hear Pound Cake the Drill on the speakers. I'm like, I have to buy that. What the hell is that? Then I bought all the discography backwards.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. There you go.
All right. So that was your number two, eh? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number two. Um, I kind of got the name for my channel from this album. So Rock and Metal Invasion. So this is Vinnie Vincent
Really?
Invasion. Yeah.
Wow. Not that. Wow.
What's
Okay.
so funny, Dan?
I find that album so over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the,
I mean, look at the back cover. Yeah.
it's not the look that bothers me. It's
Oh, yeah. True.
uh, this is isn't there the last song at the end just goes on an
Mm,
eternal loop for like
mm,
5 minutes, and you're like, okay, but like it's not the songs, it's the trickery in the studio that friggin' annoys me on that one. It's just like, holy crap, like tone it down. Because I find the songs are better on the second one. It's
yeah.
more of a band. That
Yeah.
one's like,
It's not quite so OTT, not quite so over the top, on this on the second one. So
yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, no offense there. Like
no,
it's there's some good songs on it,
yeah,
but you watch that with the video, it's the video for Boys Are Gonna Rock.
yeah,
I'm just like, you're watching this and you're like, it's almost like watching that Nitro video.
yeah. It is for me. It is a bit like Nitro, but for me, the music is 100 times better.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not 100 times better, but it's better. Yeah, I think Vinny on guitar, at least back those days, I thought, yeah, he was amazing, and yeah, I mean, I like both the albums, but I really love that debut. So there we go. It's my number two.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that one, my friend. All right. Well, my number one, easy, weird as not to say, is your number 10.
Great. Yeah.
Somewhere in Time. I is easily my second favorite Iron Maiden album of all time. The only song I don't not that I'm saying I don't like, it's Deja Vu. I find it's the weakest song on the album, but the rest is just so good. I can listen to this. Like Caught Somewhere in Time was actually the first song I learned on the bass. Not anything by AC/DC or Kiss. I went and learned that first. But I can play like a Stranger in a Strange Land from A to Z, like no problem. But every song on like I don't know, I found this album like very, very good. Different sound. There's a bit synthesizer guitar on it there. But yeah, I'm putting this as my number one. I remember going like, wow, when I first heard it. So Iron Maiden, somewhere. Plus, we had so much fun just looking at the hidden messages on the album cover for this year. It's so amazing. It's such a great painting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get lost and just watch, like, how much time we wasted in school just looking at the album cover. Oh, yeah, I found one. I found another song. Or a hidden message or Easter eggs, as you call them there. So that's my number one.
And now that you're talking about album covers, that's one thing I noticed too when I was going through the albums from 1986. So many great album covers, like really iconic album covers. I like that. This Ozzy Osbourne one, I think, is awesome.
Great.
Yeah, and the Turbo one, it's simple but really effective.
Well, it's those 3 albums in a row that had the same artists, I think.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's just brilliant stuff. All right.
Yeah.
So my number one, I'll show the I'm going to show the original cover, but I do have the alternative cover that you showed before. Now I had to choose this one as my number one because
okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I have to choose this as my number one because quite a while ago I did my top 10 hair metal albums, and this one came up number one. So of course it has to be number one for 1986. So this is Bon Jovi and Slippery When Wet. So
I love that album.
Yeah, so I mean, just the album that got me into hard rock and metal, and I think that always that makes a big difference. And yeah, to this day, still enjoy playing it. I know there's a lot of songs being played to death on the radio, but I still enjoy the songs. There's a couple songs I would take off the album and replace them with some of the great B-sides that didn't make the album. And then
I saw that, yeah. I don't know those songs, so I probably will have to take a look at those.
Yeah. So there we go. Well, that's a great top 10, Dan. I love your top 10. I think it's a lot of those albums that didn't make my top 10 would definitely be in my honorable mentions.
Again, I don't want to hopefully you don't hate me for laughing at your number two. I was like, it really caught me off guard. Like, really caught me off guard.
Oh yeah, no, no. I'm surprised that it surprised you, but yeah, it's definitely yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. This was fun, man. This
Yeah.
is a great way to end the work day. I'll tell you that. So
Yeah, yeah. Have you got any honorable mentions? Any that you want to
yeah,
mention?
well, I didn't bring them with me there, but I'll mention just a few. Cinderella Night Songs was like next on my list. Triumph, The Sport of Kings. I didn't put it there because I like Triumph a lot, but that album was not nowhere near my favorites there. Um Fastway, Trick or Treat.
Mm.
Uh, what else was there? Actually, Vinnie Vincent Invasion was on. Well, that's when I was putting my list together, but it's way down there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Striper to Hell with the Devil and Accept Russian Roulette.
Yeah.
Those ones I will say. Like I'm not gonna name every
Yeah.
album from 1996 there, but I would say easily Cinderella Night Songs and Triumph, the Sport of Kings, probably 11 or 12 right there. The rest will time will tell, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've decided not really to do any honorable mentions just because I found when I look at 1986, there's probably about 20 albums I could mention. They're all kind of like really good.
Yeah.
If I mention this album, was like, oh, we're going to mention that one. That's just as good as that one. So I thought, yeah, just leave it at, my top 10. I did almost consider Beastie Boys' License to Ill. But of course, that's not really hard rock or heavy metal. But I really like that album. That one album came out.
That's the one with the plane there?
Yeah, that's the one with the plane. Yeah.
Fight for your right to
does,
party.
It
Okay.
does have a couple sort of, heavyish songs on there doing that sort of rap metal kind of stuff. But yeah, so I didn't really think that qualified. But that was a big album for me. But yeah, fantastic, Dan. Hey, thanks for coming on the show and doing that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Maybe some time we'll do another year. And we got one match, so that was pretty amazing.
I couldn't believe that one. I was not expecting that at all. Like, not at all. So,
all right.
Judas Priest, there you go.
All right. And I'll catch up with you later and we'll do the N to Z.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And make sure you check out Dan's channel. We've both noticed an increase in subscribers recently. I don't know if the fact that we've been doing shows together, but some people that watch your channel checking out mine and the other way around. So if you haven't subscribed to Dan or my channel and you like the content, hit that subscribe button. And feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave your top 10 as well, because that's always interesting.
Yes. We love writing back anyway.
I totally. So do I.
He does too. He does too. He writes back. So.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.